Do you guys remember last year when Walmart decided that they were going to start catering collectors, even though their pre-order system is the worst, most diabolical piece of shish I've ever seen, son? I don't think I've ever received a damn pre-order from Walmart.com when it comes to any action figure collectible ever in the history of the planet. However, they have been trying to cater to collectors. Not every damn Walmart. There's like 80,000 of them out there or something like that. Okay, so not every Walmart is going to get this. But last year, they rolled out this new initiative where they kind of learned that the toy market, the collectible market, the action figure market is more for adults than it is kids now. Or at least, they kind of separated them into two separate aisles. We now have the regular toy aisle, which is more catered to kids. And then you have the collector aisle, which isn't even on a typical aisle. It's in the middle of the damn store, on the middle of kind of this walkway front as you go aisle to aisle, transitioning from the back to the front of the store or vice versa. So this collectibles deal here is going to be implemented again this year, and this new toy section is popping up at different locations around the country. And today we're going to break down what figures are actually going to be a part of this thing, and I want you guys to know about this so you can look out. Now, this was found, I've seen this found in Texas, I think it's been found in the California area, and it's been located in Arkansas. So maybe you guys have seen this. If you guys have seen this, please let me know. But today we're going to be breaking down all the figures that are on this thing so you can look out for it. But if you guys remember this from last year, remember it had the John Cena on there with the standee, and it had different companies represented, right? There's a Hasbro section, there is a Mattel section, and I believe there's one more. Maybe it's just Hasbro on one side and then the other side is Mattel. I don't know. Maybe is there only two damn companies on this thing? That'd actually be kind of crazy. But it's got different brands on it, right? It's got the G.I. Joes, it's got Star Wars, it's got Transformers, it's got WWE, it's got Marvel. It's got a lot of cool stuff in here, but I remember talking about this last year, how it was a big deal how Walmart was starting to cater to collectors and trying to break into that market. And there have been a lot of really good figures on this thing, and I think it's going to be the same this year. So we're going to break it down, man. So let's get into it here. First of all, you do have this case here, which I think is so damn funny. I don't know if you guys remember this, but these figures come pre-posed. So if you look at this case, you are going to have Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Rhea Ripley, and Logan Paul in here. Now, if you look at these figures, they are pretty familiar. We got these last year. This is going to be Elite Series 117. This is Elite 117 Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Rhea Ripley. And then there's also a Logan Paul Top Picks figure, I think is what that is going to be there. And so, that's also a Greatest Hits Rhea Ripley as well, but I think that's supposed to be Elite 117. So these figures are pre-posed. I think they come from the company themselves. This is not something, like, remember I even made the joke, I'm like, can you imagine these Walmart employees putting these figures in the case, posing them? Like, does it come with a little pre-planner where they have to mimic the pose that the company wants them to? Apparently, they come super glued and everything. So whoever is doing these displays for Mattel, maybe it's Mattel themselves, maybe there's a company like a third party that comes in and kind of details. I don't know how all that works. I don't know how all that works on the back end, but these figures come pre-posed here. It's just this little display, which I think is pretty cool. In the store, it kind of tells you what's kind of possible. They're very vanilla. It's not anything over the top, but it's still fun to think about. Regardless, if you take a look at the aisle here, man, one thing that I think is the biggest part of this is going to be the Saturday Night Main Event Elites that are going to be on display right here, man. So if you aren't aware, the Saturday Night Main Event Elites are going to include Series 1, and this is going to be the CM Punk, this is going to be the Hulk Hogan, this is going to be the Hillbilly Jim, and this is going to be the Jey Uso figures. Now, these were shown off at WWE World for WrestleMania 42 just this back in April. If you guys remember those figures, they were on display. And I don't know, I guess so. These will, I want to say that this collector's thing will go through the end of the year into the beginning of next year, if I'm not mistaken. And then they'll take it down for a little bit, and then it'll come back. That's kind of how it operated last year. But the Saturday Night Main Event figures, this is a set that I have not got my hands on. People have been getting these in hand. I'm very excited for this wave. I think these are going to be, I don't know this for a fact. I guess that, the Monday Night Wars line continues to go on. I'm going to put out a kind of a proclamation here, or at least a prediction. I think this will be the last year that we see Monday Night Wars figures. I don't know if that's true or not. Again, don't write that in stone or carve that in stone. I'm literally just giving a prediction based off of different, just different context clues. But the Saturday Night's Main Event Elites have a lot of potential. Really want this Hillbilly Jim. I think the Punk looks great. The Hogan looks great for what it is. The cards, that these are on are incredible. The retro card packaging is great. But that is just one part of the display. Apparently, this display is also going to carry Monday Night Wars Series 11. This is going to be the set that features Hulk Hogan. It's got the headbangers in it. It's got, the Bryan Adams figure. And this is going to be the Rick Rude Build-A-Figure. This set was already a part of the SummerSlam shipper that hit not too long ago. Different retail locations. It had top picks on it. It had the new SummerSlam Elites. It had the Cactus Jack Ultimate Edition. It had a bunch of different stuff. We saw it on a recent toy hunt not too long ago as well. So this, this isn't anything new here, but if you guys missed out on those figures, I think if your Walmart has this display, it should be a part of that. So you can look forward to that. You can get your hands on that if that's something that you've been wanting. I didn't get any of this set yet. I wanted to track them down, and then when I went back to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, unfortunately, my efforts were thwarted. None of them were left. So they cleared out the entire thing, which has kind of been I feel like a lot of people can relate to that when it comes to the Monday Night Wars, which goes back to the damn pre-order debacle that we were talking about. Walmart absolutely sucks at fulfilling these pre-orders. Doesn't matter if you're the first in line, the last in line. It's very inconsistent, which Walmart's so damn big. I understand it. It's just very frustrating from a collector's perspective. But the Monday Night Wars Series 11 will also be a part of this collector's aisle. There's also going to be some really cool figures here that I'm looking forward to, man. It looks like from this photo that Street Fighter Series 4 is going to be a part of this. So we do know that Series 3 was Blanca, it was Yokozuna, it was the Dominic Mysterio. But then in Series 4, we're going to be getting Vega Shawn Michaels. We have Player 2 M. Bison Rock. And then we also had the Mark Henry finally returning to the WWE Elite line or the WWE Mattel line with the Balrog figure, which looks pretty cool. So if you guys are interested in those, I think that the most toyetic of this wave is the Vega Shawn Michaels. Very much looking forward to that figure. It looked really, really cool. Some really cool accessories. Just a really fun line, even though I'm not a Street Fighter guy. This entire series has just been incredible, and I've been seeing some really cool displays of all the characters. Because we're up to 4 series now. You get 3 figures per series. That's up to 12 figures total. That's a good enough for a nice little display right there. So the Series 4 of the Street Fighter figures will also be available as a part of this collector's aisle deal, or I can't remember what the hell they called it. It was something clever. I don't freaking remember. But at the bottom of this display, there are going to be the WrestleMania Superstore exclusive Fanny Pack Rock figures, which I know a lot of people were wanting to get their hands on. I did actually get my hands on one back at WrestleMania, which was pretty cool. People were going out of their minds for this figure. We did say that this one would be much easier to obtain and to not pay on the aftermarket, and I'm assuming this still remains true. You just had to play the waiting game a little bit. I begged people not to jump off a bridge and really just overpay the hell out of your wallet for this figure, because it was going to be widely available. There was nothing separating it from the one that was going to hit these Walmart shelves. So the one that is on this Walmart display is the exact same one as the Superstore. So you're not going to see any differences between the two. It's not like the John Cena, which I tried to beg people, they may not know what they're getting their hands on. I hope that people did not overpay for this rock, because it's identical to the one that was at the Superstore. And all you had to do was play the waiting game. There's no exclusive shirt. There's nothing separating this figure from being special. So I hope that people, heeded my word there and took it and didn't, cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, because you got absolutely rocked, son. And so this figure right here, it's solid. It's fun. I don't know. I don't know how well this one's going to sell, to be honest with you. I really can't tell at this juncture. It's kind of up in the air. I imagine that it'll be packed times over. Again, I don't think it's like the John Cena. You don't have the retirement tour backing it on television either. So I don't know. I think it's a very niche figure, but I guess it's possible. We'll see how that goes. Let me know if you're grabbing that. But what I don't see on this display, I don't see any main WWE Elite lines. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that Elite Series 126 will be a part of this display, just because that's kind of the most recent one. I could see Elite 127 also hitting, the set that just recently hit from Ringside Collectibles. I could see Elite 126 and 127 hitting, maybe even Elite 125 hitting this as well. So be on the lookout if you want any of those figures. That's going to be the Stephanie Vaquer wave, the Coco Beware wave. That's going to be your, Cody Rhodes, Jacob Fatu wave. That's going to be, the Penta, the Red Penta wave. and the Roman Reigns from the white and black Roman from WrestleMania 41's main event. So, keep an eye on that if you guys want those. Apparently, the Pentas are going to be packed plentiful, hopefully, so you can get your hands on that, as well as El Grande Americano. But one thing I don't see here is any Ultimate Editions either. So, for Ultimate Editions, I would guess that Ultimate Edition Series 32 would be on display, just because Ultimate Edition Series 31 was packed on that SummerSlam shipper. Now, we could see a repack of that and a restock of that, just because, if we saw SummerSlam Elites and different figures that were on that SummerSlam shipper here on this display, I'm talking about Monday Night Wars Series 11, I would also guess that the Ultimate Editions could also be here. So I would look out for Cactus Jack. I would look out for potentially Goldberg later on. So I don't know. Those are definitely some things that I would look forward to as far as Ultimate Editions and stuff. But I think Series 32 is the play. I don't think that, maybe Series 33 later on, but right now, 32 is what we're up to. And so that's going to be your Stone Cold, your Jacob Fatu, your Jake the Snake. We don't have Ultimate Edition Series 33 in hand just yet, but that will definitely be something that we have to play note of. That's going to be your Sheamus, your Liv Morgan, your CM Punk. Those have not shipped from ringside, so maybe eventually this Walmart display will have it, but at this juncture, we do not have that, man. But I wanted to get on here and talk about this. Or you guys, if you found this, please let us know down below. I want all the collectors and figure collectors to sound off down in the comment section if you guys have seen this recently, or if you have yet to find this. I would love to know. But there's some good stuff here, man. I'm very much, and a lot of these figures I don't even have. The only one from this entire video that I have is the Fanny Pack Rock, so I don't have any of the other ones. So definitely looking forward to getting my hands on those Saturday Night Main Event figures and then doing a full review. I want to get that full set in here, make our Hillbilly Gym. Yeah, it's going to be great. But that's going to wrap it up for me, man. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. If you found any of these figures, let me know. If you saw any cool things on the display, if there was any Ultimates, let me know. But I'm getting out, man. Appreciate you. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.